Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady, and in today's video we are doing 7 looks and swatches and some thoughts about the Ensley Whispering Woods eyeshadow palette and blush palette. I have been playing with both of these products for the last several weeks at this point, so I've really been getting to know both palettes, and I'm excited to share some thoughts with you. I do have a non-affiliated code with the brand, which will save you 10% on the Ensley website. That code is TaxLady10 without any spaces. I do not receive any sort of commission or kickback or anything if you choose to use it. It just gives you a little bit of a discount. So please feel free to use that if you are shopping on the Ensley website. I did purchase both of these palettes, as well as I picked up one of the Moon Dusts from the collection. I don't believe I've used it yet though. It needs to make an appearance here soon. So this right here is look number 7. You'll see this get put together earlier on the day that I'm filming this piece. Naturally, my hair is up and my base makeup is probably not doing the same that it was doing when I first applied everything, but that's okay. Let's go do those 7 looks and then we'll come back. Let's do some swatches and then we will talk about some conclusions about the palettes. Welcome back. Please let me know which look stood out to you, which one was your favorite, what color combination, if you have this palette, or even if you've just been seeing it online, if you've done it as a BYOP, let me know what color combination has been standing out to you. Okay, so you've seen the inside of the palette, of course, by now, but here is our beautiful ENSLEY Rain Whispering Woods palette. We have lots of beautiful shades, beautiful textures, beautiful tones, a couple of really pretty and interesting multi-chromes going on in here. I would love to get us into some swatches, so let's do that. I'm just gonna dip right in. Let's start with Fairy Lights, Toadstool, and Fairy Ring. Here on my fingers, we have Fairy Lights on this side, Toadstool in the middle, and Fairy Ring. The skin on the back of my hand is a little bit dry, so just forgive that. Here are those first three shades. Hopefully you can see the beautiful sparkles going on in there. I will be sure to change up the lights a bit once we have everything on the arm for swatches so that we can see just all the beautiful impact and reflex and goodness going on here. Next we have Poppy, Fairy Whisper, and Sproutling. We have Poppy, Fairy Whisper, and Sproutling here on my fingers. Look at the amount of reflect in that shade. Again, the skin, especially right in here, is dry, so just forgive that. If that looks a little bit patchy, that would just be quite literally the dry skin underneath. And then, of course, the way the camera is picking it up. Next for swatches, we have Gnome Alone, Ember Wings, and Mossling. Here those are on my finger. You can see the amount of reflect. That's so cool. Okay, Gnome Alone, Ember Wings, and Mossling. Next for swatches, we have Mystic Mushy, Elven Forest, and Pixie Dust. And here on the fingers, we have Mystic Mushy, Elven Forest, and Pixie Dust. These are certainly not the most aesthetically pleasing swatches. They are just yummy. Starting in the last row, we have Whispering Bloom, Dream Willow, and Mycena. And on the fingers, forgive the staining that's already starting on the finger, we have Whispering Bloom, Dream Willow, and Mycena. Okay, I went back in and built up the matte there, Dream Willow, just a little bit more. I am swatching over the hair on my arm, so I'm sure that's impacting the way that these are looking too. And last for swatches, we have Rooted, Whispering Woods, and Echo. Obviously, the namesake shimmer here is just so impactful. Okay, and there are our swatches of the ENSLEY Rain Whispering Woods eyeshadow palette. Less than perfect swatches, and again, they're over the dry, hairy back of my arm, but I just wanted to be able to show them all together. And I think that these shades are so gorgeous. I also want to point out, this is the shade I'm wearing today on my lids, but this is Mystic Mushy. And I hope you can see all of the different shades that are in that multi-chrome. That's so cool. This one, of course, has a lot of beautiful shifts as well. Let's do some swatches on the front of my hand and arm with the blush palette. Let's start with Woodland Glow, Cedar Rose, and Shadow Root. So I did build up the swatches just a little bit and finally able to get the camera to focus. All three of those that we just swatched are powders. Now we're gonna have powder cream powder. So this is powder blush in Wild Berry. This is cream blush in Rosewood, and powder highlighter in Briar Rose. So pretty, so fun. I know that I didn't directly feature the blush palette in the 7 looks that I did. I've been using the blush palette sometimes with those looks and sometimes not with those looks, with other looks that I've worn. But I have been using it and I have been getting to know the formulas a bit. This is the first, let's just jump into the blush palette. This is the first blush formula that I've tried from ENSLEY Rain. I know they've come out with a handful of other blush options before. I don't know whether they're all directly the same formula or not. I would say that the 3 powder blushes in here are the same formula as one another, and then same with these 2 highlighters, the same formula as one another. I think that they are all very, very pretty. I think that they are very pigmented. I can work them on my skin tone. I don't have a problem with that. I just use a fluffier brush and go in with a gentle hand, but I think they blend out really pretty. These are not necessarily tones that I'm going for on the day-to-day right now. I'm really liking a light and bright, either peachy or pink, but like a light pink, not so much of a berry on my cheeks. That's just what I've been inclined toward. But I definitely think when my tastes maybe switch a little bit and I'm going for more neutral-ish, more neutral blush shades, I definitely think this will be a beautiful palette. I think these are going to be great for like the fall time too, because they're just a staple. They add some depth to your face. They have just like a little bit of color, but they're not an overwhelming pop of color. I have definitely been using Briar Rose as a blush topper, especially on top of Cedar Rose, the powder blush, and I really think that combination is beautiful on my skin tone. Again, I go in with a very light hand and a fluffier brush when I'm using Briar Rose as a blush topper, but I think it's really pretty. I have used Shadow Root. I don't think I've used it as a full-on bronzer, but I've used it kind of going back and forth with Cedar Rose to make just a little bit more brownie of a blush, and it's really pretty that way. Rosewood, the cream blush, is very pretty. It's a very pretty formula. It's very thin on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy. Cream blush can feel just kind of like heavy and weighty on the skin, and I don't feel that way with this. I think it blends out really pretty to give a nice wash without feeling thick or heavy on the skin, so I appreciate that. I like the size of this little blush palette. I think it's great for travel, and I like, of course, that the pans are removable. I don't have anything else to like put in there. I could switch these around. Maybe I'd love it if they come out with future either blush palettes or maybe there are other blushes we could switch in and out of this little palette, but I think it's so cute. Let's chat for a minute about the packaging. I think the packaging, which is essentially the same between the blush palette and the eyeshadow palette, is so very cute. I think that the little theme of the woods, and then we've got the mushrooms and such, the branches that stand out and have that like glossy finish to them. It's so cute. It's so very cute and very well done. I really like it. Here is the eyeshadow palette packaging just for your comparison. Okay, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. I have had so much fun playing with this. I think that the palette itself is so much more versatile than I originally thought, and I think I said that in the video where I first used this palette, which I'll make sure that's linked down below or in the cards or something. I think that we can get green looks, but I don't think we have to only get green looks out of this palette. I think the undertones of even the different green mattes are different enough that we can really direct the look in different ways. I think that this matte, this like kind of brown matte, is really universal in this palette. It can go with any of the other mattes. And these two are very pretty. I wish there was maybe a little bit, I wish Rooted was a little bit lighter, I think. I think that would give us just a little bit more of that variety in the palette. I could just mix it with No Malone and then that would lighten up the matte just a little bit that way. But overall, mattes, absolutely stunning. This corally shade Toadstool, I have been like drooling for this shade. I used it in I think a couple of the looks in today's video. It's just such a summery pop of color, watermelony, and I love it so much, and I love that it's a pop of color in this palette. The yellow shade Poppy, gorgeous shade, beautiful, and I really like the look that I did with it. That kind of yellowy shade is not one that I'm reaching for a whole lot right now, so I kind of had to plan my look around reaching for that shade, but that's okay. Beautiful shade, and I think maybe more in late summer and fall time I'll get a little bit more use out of that. Okay, let's get into the shimmers. There are no textured shades in the shimmers in this palette. They are absolutely beautiful. These two, and then even Ember Wings, so Ember Wings, Mystic Mushy, and Whispering Woods, are such this smooth formula. And I think I pointed that out when I showed you the swatches on my fingers. They're just so smooth. They're sparkly and reflective and multi-chromatic. You get to see the different colors in there. They're so, so, so pretty. The two Mystic Mushy and Whispering Woods are intense shades. Those were intense looks the day that I wore those, including today, but they're so fun and they have so much impact. So again, love these two shades. Just kind of had to plan my look around those. Those weren't looks that I wore to the office. I did wear every look out of the home on today's 7 looks, but not all of them to the office. So both of those looks were not ones that I wore to the office. Could I incorporate them in a look that I wear to the office? Sure. But I also just love letting a multi-chrome be a multi-chrome across my whole lid, and that level of multi-chrome is a little intense for me and for how I like to wear my makeup into the office. Fairy Lights, the shade up here, is the only shimmer shade in the palette that I would say could be chunky. It's not overly chunky, but it is a little bit piecier than basically everything else in the palette. I think it's so pretty. I wore it multiple times as like an inner corner just to bring a little bit of brightness back, and I think it's perfect for that. Such a beautiful shade. The remaining 4 shimmers, Fairy Ring, Fairy Whisper, Whispering Bloom, and Mycena, they're so beautiful. These are the types of shades from ENSLEY Rain that get my heart, that I love so much. Fairy Ring and Mycena especially had this very impactful shift to them. This shade is Fairy Ring, so it's really not coming across in camera right now, but it has kind of a green, intense flash to it that I wasn't expecting. And Mycena is this shade here, and I hope you can kind of see it's got, again, kind of like that blue flash to it that is so pretty. And maybe part of it too was putting it on after having the mattes already on my lids, and then it just kind of made those specific colors stand out just a little bit more. But I very much enjoyed the looks that I came up with using those 2 shimmers, and the way that the rest of the palette just reflects that. I think that this color story as a whole is very smart. It's very beautiful, and it's such a great, you can wear your eyeshadow whenever you want to, but I think it's so reminiscent of deep summer or fall. And I think for me, in my mind, I'm still in like early summer. I know it's not like it's early summer. We're getting into middle summer if we're not already there, but regardless, I think that this is definitely going to be a palette that I'm inclined to reach for as we get closer to fall. I think that these deep greens especially, and then these shades over here, poppy, like these are so reminiscent of harvest and of the leaves changing. So I definitely think this is going to be a prime fall time palette for me. It's just a little bit early for me in the season of summer to be obsessed with it. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's earthy, it's smart, and I love it. And I'm really glad that I have it in my collection. That's just kind of like where I'm at in early July, how I'm feeling about the Whispering Woods color story. Again, nothing wrong with it. Maybe just a seasonal preference right now, but I'm so glad to have it. I've been loving it. I've enjoyed all of the 7 looks that I've done with it, and I've done others. I think I have at least 1, if not 2 shorts with this palette, and then I did another look in another video. So again, nothing against the color story. I'm enjoying it. I think I'll find even more inspiration for it in the fall time. Okay, so I think that is all that I have for this video. Please let me know which of the 7 looks was your favorite. What color combinations did I not do with the palette that you would like to see, or ones that you've been loving? I would love to hear from you in the comment section. If you liked the video, please give the video a like. And if you are new to my channel, I'd love it if you'd consider becoming a subscriber. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one.